Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man once again, coming to you live from parts unknown. I am simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I've already had one live stream. SmackDown error occurred on Utizzle, according to the message I received. Now, what is that all about? But anyway, maybe I started off with something a little too rough in the first 30 seconds. That's when you get eyed up. I don't know. I got a picture of James Comey. I had this on my screen. And I said that we had a problem. And I'll have to wait for a couple of minutes to go by to discuss it, what the problem is. And I will discuss that along with what is going on with the government shutdown and 800 plus generals being summoned. So what does all that mean? And we're going to read between the lines. And as I always do, I play videos, right, folks? So let's do that while people get settled in and choose their favorite beverage to relax, whether it's a wine or a cup of coffee or a cold brew hot, whatever you want. So anyway, then we'll get like butter and be on a roll, right?
The murder of Charlie Kirk was not a political act. The murder of Charlie Kirk was not a political act. The murder of Charlie Kirk was not a political act.
You want to know what it is. The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
A tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now, Donald Trump. And these titans of industry are not speaking up.
The storm's on.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law.
The deep
state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks, we're going to take care of it. You know, as many times as I've seen this intro, I was checking it when the pictures of people, Brennan and Clapper and Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray, next time I watch it, I got to look. I don't think I saw James Comey. Maybe that was... Comey was probably wondering, hey, maybe I'm in the clear when they put this video out. But there he is. There he is. The Dungmeister himself. Probably right in the middle of another bald-faced lie to Congress. That's what he's charged with. Don't complain to me. Talk to the grand jury. Gary's here. Here we go. Sherry's here. Melinda's here. Nice to see you, Gino. Sissy, Elva, Darla. Yes, it's going down, right? It's going down. It's just the beginning. And I put on my thumbnail, he sells seashells by the seashore. The storm is, I wouldn't say it's on us yet, but President Trump put out another video. He put out a lot of stuff last night. He was a busy bee while I was live last night. He was posting videos to remind people what we're dealing with. Now, I cautioned everybody not to get their hopes up concerning the information, whether or not Comey got indicted or not. I saw a video with Judge Napolitano. I didn't watch it. It was a short video where he was saying, well, the government's just a little bit too late, is what was in something like that in the title. I didn't want to hear it. They're not too late. They're right on time. So, anyway, Todd, how you doing? Let's see. My broadcast is, I hope it is stable. I don't see any mention of it being buffering. I saw Robert Gavoya earlier today. He had a 27-minute video, roughly. I clicked on it, and it was him struggling with his broadcast feed while he was playing videos, and had to shut down broadcasts, and said he would come back tomorrow. But and his broadcast was stable. But I find that very interesting. I think we're dealing with the remnants of this bunch that was busted in New York, because they have other operations. I'm sure they were trying to do a disruption, sabotage, and we've been warned that that might happen. And we're seeing the counter operation against them to prevent people from being cut off on the internet. But there's some of it going to get by, some of it going to get through. So anyway, New York Post. Remember, the New York Post is also publishing in California right now. California. I've still got videos in my studio that I wanted to put up yesterday. I guess we'll put them up. Elvis, an excellent communication, no buffer, wonderful. Sherry said 5x5, good. Good. I am glad. Haha, make sure y'all say pink hand waving from Sissy and Gary and regular hand waving. Todd's holding a heart up for everybody. Good. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Well, I'll wait for people to get in because they're probably confused. I'm going to leave that short. Did you all see that short video I put up where I said we got problems? And what I was referring to was this meme. Did this make someone angry? Let me find it. Where they say I'm putting up medical disinformation or something like that because I put a picture of an old bat. Where did it go? Here she is with her mask on, trying to abuse Tylenol just to get back at Trump, right? I said, we got a big problem. I said it was mass dysphoria. And I said it was mass psychosis. And I said that's the goal of illegal psychological warfare operations on the population is to have them disconnect from reality and for people to be at each other's throats. And that's what they're doing. So I thought it would have been the New York Post when they got me taken down. I still might get taken down. I don't know. But we'll keep on plugging away, right? What did Donald Trump put up last night while I was broadcasting? He put up this. Dems turn red after Rubio calls him out on live TV. Like the gang member you had margaritas with? Remember that? I didn't copy that one, but I copied one that we're going to listen to. And then you had Trump put this up, a video from Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz uncovers a hidden scandal that could invalidate every Biden pardon. Whoa. I didn't copy that, but you get the gist where Mr. T was heading. And the one he did, that I did copy, we'll go ahead and play it. Look what it says. Treat on Trump. Now, wait a minute. This is the President of the United States posted this last night. So I am not taking things out of context. I am not violating any rules. And I'm going to play it, whether you like it or not, you tizzle. So Trump stuns reporters after declaring Barack Obama will face justice. Not enough room in the type space to put Hussein Obama, but you'll hear him mention it. So this is another relaxation video, folks. Just relax and drink the information in. Don't be like a lefty and say, oh, I don't want to listen to Trump. Yes, you do. Ha, ha, ha.
What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And they should caught Hillary Clinton. I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about that, Mr. President? Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. Room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they look. He's guilty. It's not a question. You know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents coming. So President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Crooked is a $3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report. It was made up fiction. And they used that. Now, the one thing they weren't able to do was to, and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is the press refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted, an admitted fraud. She paid $12 million, and the Democrats, for that report to a wise guy named Christopher Steele. He wrote a phony report, and they wanted to get that report in before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time, the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only after, substantially, like a month and a half after the election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing, because the election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit, we can't put this in. And neither very dishonest paper. As you see, I'm suing them for a lot of money because they do things very badly. It's got a nice name, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a terrible paper. And it can be corrupt. But just so you know, they didn't take the Steele report. It was the dossier. Remember the famous dossier? I called it the fake news dossier. The news wouldn't publish it. And I'm amazed. They had 2.5 months. It was finished. 2.5 months. That was supposed to be what was going to happen. And it got published a couple of months after the election. And frankly, nobody cared too much about it. But that was a big thing. No, we caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama. They're the ones, and then you have many, many people under them. Susan Rice, they're all there. The names are all there. And I guess they figured they're going to put this in classified information, and nobody will ever see it again, but it doesn't work that way. And it's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever read. So you ought to take a look at that. and stop talking about nonsense, because this is big stuff. Never has a thing like this happened in the history of our country. And by the way, it morphed into the 2020 race. And the 2020 race was rigged, and it was a rigged election. And because it was rigged, we have millions of people in our country. We had inflation. We solved the inflation in our country because of that. And people that shouldn't have been, people from gangs and from jails and from mental institutions, people that we don't want in our country, people that we're getting out, dangerous people. 11,888 murderers, many of them 50%, more than 50%, murdered more than one person. I hate to say this with such a distinguished guest, but, you know, they asked me a question. I got to answer the question. No, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary Clinton was right there with him, and so was Sleepy Joe Biden, and so were the rest of them. Comey, Clapper, the whole group. And they tried to rig an election, and they got caught. And then they did rig the election in 2020. And then because I knew I won that election by a lot, I did it a third time, and I won in a landslide. Every swing state won the popular vote. But I won that all the same
way in 2020. That's the stuff I get taken down for saying on YouTube, so I'll let the President of the United States say it. Okay, Jimmy over in Punjab or some Himalayan cave, you know, wherever they hire people to review videos, I don't know. Got it? Get it? Good. Okay, it's come from the President of the United States, and I'm going to play it. And so he said Barack Hussein Obama was involved in treason and anything else you can think of. And they stole the election. And they caused millions of people to come in this country and suck the lifeblood out of our economy. Sent criminals and lunatics and insane people in insane asylums come over to commit crimes. There's going to be a lot of people going to have to answer. And man, I'm ready for it. And I know you all are too. Ha ha ha. Hi, Lori Choosy. How you doing? Nice to see you. Who else snuck in here? So this is one for the ages. It was some months ago when Donald Trump made this statement to the press. And it was a mere 12 or 13 hours ago. He reposted this on his official site on Truth Social. This should be being broadcast by every news station, including the ones that are agitating and participating in this insurgency. Here we have Newsweek. A senior DOJ official reportedly directed multiple U.S. attorneys' offices to draft plans for potential criminal investigations into the Open Societies Foundation funded by George Soros. I wasn't allowed to say his name on this platform. Could be blitzed off the air at any moment. Blitzed off the air. But there's just too much information out there. Why is there too much information out there? Why is there so many different places to people to voice their thoughts and opinions? I'll tell you why. Trump saved TikTok. Ooh, look at that. It says TikTok. My, what is that all about?
I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. Maybe we got to keep this sucker around for a little while.
For all of those who want to save TikTok in America, vote for Trump. I like TikTok. I like it. I said we need to save TikTok.
There are numerous ways you can buy TikTok, and we will find the one that's best for the country.
I'd like to see TikTok remain alive. TikTok is back.
Got a little bit of competition, don't you tizzle, huh? You kick people off and they go to TikTok. And then what happens to